Welcome, Britain. Welcome, London. Welcome back to the Manish Tiwari show. It's a fantastic day out there, great weather, and thankfully, we are out of the lockdown. I was there in Halifax last weekend. We had an Eid get together. And the wonderful part of this country is that you have so many different communities coming together, so many different groups of people living, diaspora groups living in this country. There's always a pleasure. You always end up meeting new people, making new friends. And today we have with us someone who's really special. So this country and this city in particular, is known as the financial capital of the world. But it's not just about the great British institutions. They're equally big and venerable institutions from other parts of the world who make up this great city and its financial success. Today, we have one such gentleman with us who heads one of the largest Indian banks and one of the largest banks in the world. It's a Fortune 500 company. His name is Sharat Chandak, and he represents State Bank of India, which is India's leading institution in banking and possibly has seen India in every form. It has been existing for the last 100 years in the United Kingdom, but its existence in India has been even longer. So, Sharat, welcome to my show.
Thank you, Manish, and good afternoon to you, and namaste to all of you viewers.
Thank you, Sharat. Namaste to you as well. So, I looked at your resume, and one thing which is simply amazing in today's date and time, that you spent 30 years in banking and 30 years with this great institution called State Bank of India. Now, in today's time, everyone changes job. I mean, I have not met many people who stick it to one job for more than 2 or 3 years. So it's absolutely great that you've been committed to State Bank of India. So we start today our show asking you a few questions. And my first question will be, I would like to know a little bit about your journey, about you as a person and as a professional. And how do you think this journey has been? What are your future aspirations? What do you feel about State Bank? Over to you.
Oh, great. So let me start with the personal journey. So my origins goes to Rajasthan. My grandfather migrated from Rajasthan to Vidarbha region of Maharashtra, almost 120 years back. So I am born and brought up in Maharashtra. So when I joined State Bank, so I got posting in Madhya Pradesh.
So that used to be the
And
same central provinces of India in those days, was it?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And I have worked extensively in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh for almost 25 years. And beauty of State Bank is you get opportunity to work at various locations and handling various posts. So before coming to London, so I have worked more than 10 centers, handling more than 50 centers. And so I landed here in London on 1st November 2018. And as you know that I am regional head of SBI UK operations and Chief Executive Officer, CEO of State Bank of India UK Limited. So there will be some confusion why there are two posts, correct? So let me take you to a little bit of history. So as you mentioned that SBI is having existence of more than 200 years, correct?
Yep.
So I will start from that. So the journey started on in June 1806, 215 years, when Bank of Bengal was formed in Kolkata and Calcutta. No, in those days Calcutta. Then it was registered as Bank of Calcutta. After 34 years or so, Bank of Madras was formed, and then Bank of Mumbai was formed. In those days, three banks used to be known as Presidency Bank.
Correct.
And three banks merged or amalgamated into Imperial Bank of India in 1921. And the same year, the London branch was started.
Is it
So
the
we
same
started
one?
our journey.
Was it on the King Street, the same place where you have the branch today?
Not in the King Street, but in the Square Mile area only.
Okay.
Okay. So we are here since 1921 in UK. So why now this no subsidiary?
Mhm.
So we started with the London branch. It was a wholesale bank handling the international banking. Gradually, we started digital operations, and over the period, we are having 12 branches also. So 7 branches are in London, 4 are in Midland, one is Northern England, and is Manchester. So around 13, 14, and thereafter, the regulators wanted that all the sizable retail operations should be ring-fenced. So we decided to form a subsidiary. So in 2018, we formed a UK-based subsidiary, State Bank of India UK Limited. So now we are having a London branch and we are having a subsidiary. So this is the journey. So that's why there are two designations. So I'm working with the branch also and the subsidiary also.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then your question was in regions. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, so it's great to know that. I mean, it's a very rich history, and I'm sure a lot of people have walked into, in this 100-year journey. A lot of very famous people, a lot of people who we still know as very rich and wealthy have been part of this journey. Sharad, when I think of State Bank of India, I have very early childhood memories. And you mentioned Chhattisgarh, so I was born and brought up in Raipur.
Yeah.
That was one of the first places I've seen a bank where I must have walked with my father in one of the State Bank of India branches. And from whatever I remember, I mean, it's been a really long back, but it had all those long fence, colonial building, a very different official feeling. I mean, I felt very odd when I walked in there with my father. So that is my first memory of State Bank, and I still have that passbook somewhere, which was opened. They used to have a special passbook for children if you're under 18 years old. So I have that somewhere still with me, with all those handwritings and stuff. So that was how the banks used to be. And today we are in a digital age. It's very disruptive. I still think that some of the people working in my office who are in their early 20s, they don't even know, they possibly use something like Monzo or one of those digital banks, and they don't even understand the full functionality of what a bank does. So it's very different time. Do you think that the bank, State Bank, has evolved with times? Has it caught on with all this digital progress which has happened?
Surely. So Manish, especially then as you mentioned, so in those days when I joined the bank also, so you used to have very big ledgers, right? Then we moved to computerized banking. So it was localized computerized banking first. Then we went to the core banking solution. This all the branches were integrated. And then subsequently, we moved to the mobile banking, correct? So in India, we have launched the app. So that app is not only for banking, so it is for the investment, for shopping, everything. So you only need one. This is the meaning of Similarly, in UK also, we have also launched the app for our retail customers in 2019. So yes, banks have moved with the technology and kept pace with the time. That is the reason that we are here. Otherwise, 215 years of journey, it is very difficult if you are not able to keep that space in time with time. So I can say that we are the fully digitalized bank at the same time having a human touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's a very important qualification you made. A digital bank, but you have the human. Did you say the human hand or the human touch?
Yes.
Both. Yeah. So, no, that's very important. Sharad, Indians have done so well in this country. We know some of the biggest Indians they make the Sunday Times rich list. So, who are the most esteemed clients of the bank? And would you like to share any names or stories that illustrate the fact that Indians actually are among the most affluent community in the United Kingdom today? Would you like to share or say something?
Correct. So two parts. Firstly, success part. So definitely success in any field, whether it is a financial world, sports, culture, literature, science, anything. You will admire those people. You feel proud that okay, you know these some people, or these people are from your community or from your country or from the geography. So always you will feel proud. So I'm also feel proud that okay, Indians have made such a progress in this country also. As far as your question that who are my esteemed customers, so each and every customer is esteemed customers for the bank, correct?
Yeah.
So we give equally importance to all customers, whatever is the business size, whatever is the value we are deriving from that customer. So that is the value system of State Bank of India,
Mhm.
and that's why we have earned so much of trust and love from all the customers, and that we want to maintain that. So I will not mention any particular customers. All my customers are very important customers to me.
So I think I'll mention some of them maybe then because I've seen them in your events and in your gatherings. So obviously, we all know about the Hindujas, and I'm sure they are your clients. So would be possibly Lakshmi Mittal and Vedanta Group, and they all make the Sunday Times top 100 rich list. We all feel as Indians proud that we have someone who we know in whatever capacity who make up the top 100 rich list. So do you, and as you rightly pointed out, I mean, the value system of the bank is one thing, and how we perceive success of the community or individual is another thing. It doesn't necessarily need to be, related to the wealth of the individual or the person. But nevertheless, the state bank is a bank, and it stands for money. And uh, with all these associations, I'm sure you do feel happy. Uh, do you think in this 100-year journey of the Imperial Bank to State Bank from 1921 to 2021, there are some remarkable people who have been involved, associated with the bank, whose journey has been part of the bank? Would you like to share some names or say something about that?
So sharing of the names will not be appropriate.
Yeah.
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 Yes. We mentioned all these three big names. So yeah, we are happy that they are our customers. Correct.
Correct.
The Tatas also our customers. That we are and then for us, they are also our customers.
Yeah.
This 100 years of journey. So we started in 1921, and then it was earlier. We used to handle only three types of transactions: the import transactions of the Indian diaspora, then the government transactions of both the countries, and arranging the money for the parent bank. So that was the initially we started, and it was a very small beginning, correct? Then Indian High Commission's accounts came to us, and in 1923, first time we registered the profit. So in 100 years of journey, a lot of things have happened. But when things happen, when I restore all those achievements, it will be big. But if we go to the last 4 5 years, to 2017, London Stock Exchange and India came together, and we launched one HDFC SBI India Bond Series.
Correct.
So it tracks the development of the bond market in India. So any global investors want to invest in India, so we would like to know what is happening in India, how the bond market is functioning in India. So these indices give the information to it. So this is the one big achievement we have done. Then as I have mentioned, we started with only one branch, and then now we have started the subsidy also in 2018. So this is the another achievement.
Mm-hmm.
2019, then we went digital banking. So this was the third achievement. Now, recently, we have went to the debt capital market. So public sector undertakings or Indian corporates, if they want to raise money through bonds in UK market or other markets, so we can market their bonds. We can mobilize funds for them, and we can help or assist them in lifting of the bonds. So for corporate world, so these are means for India, means for SBI, these are the major developments I would say in the recent past. And actually, then see, we have always helped the Indian corporates, correct, means for their trade finance, import-export transactions. Some of the corporates came here and they acquired new companies, or they started their own subsidiaries. So we were there as a banker. So India also, see, you must be knowing that the SBI is the esteemed partner of most of the corporates. So that relationship we have carried here also. But at the same time, SBI has also catered to the needs of the local entrepreneurs also, or multinational companies. So London branch, if you see the business, so almost 50% business is not other than Indian business. And London branch is having a 20 billion management.
So what you're saying is that
So you can understand that we are having a huge business in the local market and the international market.
so London branch, you're saying that 50% of the business is not Indian necessarily. I mean, it's with other.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then subsidy. I mean, this is subsidy basically there also my loan products. 80% of the loan products are for the local people. So there is no connect with the Indian diaspora. But at deposit size, yes, most of the depositors are from the Indian or South Asian diaspora. So we want to maintain that Indian connect. At the same time, we want to become the local bank or international bank.
Right.
So over the entire 100 years, so that was the path, and that path will be continued.
So that's, I guess, that's the ambition for the bank internationally in coming times. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So no, great. So I was there at the London Stock Exchange, and that was a proud moment, certainly.
Correct.
Coming back to the role of Indian banks in kind of creating this platform, and you mentioned that obviously you do work with Indian businesses from India and getting them this platform. So what has been the role? Like, for instance, there have been some very high-profile acquisitions lately. Reliance acquired Hamleys, which is a very proud British institution. Tata, I mean, made waves a few years back when they acquired Chorus, and then Land Rover and Jaguar. So State Bank, I'm just assuming that obviously you're part of the big syndication deals when acquisitions happen. Or do you think State Bank has like a bigger role to play in this? Do you think State Bank proactively is encouraging Indian companies to go global and provide this platform? Is there such a thing?
So we are always the partner of the corporates, right? But each deal will be examined on merits. So it is the financial decision or credit decision we have to take. So SBI will be always looking each transaction on its merits, and if it meets the certain criteria and it took risk appetite, so we are there to help the corporates.
Okay.
So whether it is in the UK or anywhere in
But how?
So
I mean,
that will be the one part.
Is it through what we call syndication, or are there other tools? Is there any kind of loan? How do you kind of?
Yeah, so see, basically what happens that the syndication is when many banks come together and give the loan. So we can be the part of the syndication also. There can be bilateral loans. Only we are sufficient that ticket size is not and we want to handle that entire loan, so we can handle that loan. So this is also one part of syndication and bilateral. There can be some clubs where four, five banks coming together and then they are giving them. But ultimately, see, you are giving, you are lending to the corporate. So ways can be different. In addition to that, for acquiring, see what happened that a lot of export import transactions happen, and they need the bank transactions.
Got
Then
it.
there will be some supply chain will be there, and we are aggressively into that part supply chain. How we can finance their vendors or their dealers. So in that way also directly or indirectly you are supporting the corporates to handle their finance. So we are there. I mean, we are having all kind of products which are required for the corporate good.
So, I mean, quick question. I mean, it came to my mind that since the time Modi government has been there, I mean, they're seen as a pro-business government. So, is there a special focus since the time the new government has taken reins, Modi 2.0? Is there a special focus on or special focus on pushing Indian businesses to go global via the bank?
See, as far as the government policies are concerned, we must have seen the latest budget and the initial steps taken just before the budgets. So there is a lot of push is there for the infrastructure, creation of infrastructure in India. And there are certain things like production linked incentives they are given to motivate the people to go for the infrastructure projects or the industrial projects. Then government is also starting the DFI, Development and Finance Institute. So these all steps government has taken. So what happened that in the entire ecosystem, SBI being the biggest bank of the country, naturally then we will be having the biggest share in this thing. So whatever the initiative being taken by the government or whatever the initiative being taken by corporates, so SBI will be there, SBI will be there to support not only the big corporates, it will be the small SMEs also, small businesses, agriculture, everywhere SBI is there. And you say that about the whether people in India is moving or promoting the companies to go abroad. So as I said, for acquiring naturally case-to-case basis, we are there to finance the companies. At the same time, corporates many times take the loans from the UK or USA geographies. So we sanction the external commercial borrowings. So it reduces their cost of being credit because they are borrowing in dollar terms. Okay, and then it will be cheaper rates. So we are financing them. So in this way, we help the customers to tap the local market and export market.
Okay. So, Shahid, so not very long back, I was talking to a banker, and he said that retail banking is akin to social service. And his view was that banks do not really make huge profits out of retail banking. So, my question to you is do you think that SBI UK manages to be profitable through retail banking? Is that really profitable? And do you do something for the community? Is that one of the principal values of the bank to serve the Indian community? Is the bank somewhere woven around that value system?
Okay, so I think 3, 4 questions you asked. So, social service. So definition of social service changes with time. Correct?
Yeah.
So when in India, means we are and we were in such a rural locations where you will not having transportation also. Correct?
Correct.
So that kind of social service will also given. So social, but then if you are helping community and helping the community handling their financial transactions or their credit needs, necessarily you are providing that social service. So that social service form had changed, but still we are in the social service is good. Second part about the retail banking. Yes, retail banking, what happens? The margins are very thin. Competition is very high. Operational cost is very high.
Correct.
So definitely it is challenging. But yes, we have completed 3 years of banking, retail banking, and all the 3 years we were in profits. So that is a good thing. And uh, and I hope that with the strong risk framework, correct, and attitudes towards the compliance, adherence to compliance, we should be in profits. Okay. The third part was your local, the Indian
Yeah.
diaspora and then our community. So definitely, so we are having a strong Indian right? So that advantage is there. And naturally, then we are also helping your community in whatever way we can do that. So, any specific thing you want to understand in there?
No, I mean, yeah, you answered it in a way, but what I was trying to come to was whether bank, because I've seen the retail operation expand from the number of branches you have now. So, is that coming from a source where you want to serve the community, or is it because the bank, in terms of retail, is profitable? So, what is where exactly
Yeah, yeah.
you said? That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay. So, I said that retail is going to be a big profitable business. Correct. So, we enter into retail and we are responding to retail to serve the the Indian diaspora and the South Asian diaspora. I mean, if you think that we started lockers, because see, normal local customers don't require much of the locker facilities. Means locker means safe facilities. But that was the need for the Indian community or South Asian community. So, means out of 10 branches at 11 branches were having these safe custody lockers.
So
And
basically,
it
what
is a
you
big popular product.
so what you're saying, Sharad, is that it's a mix of both. So you're doing some things
Yes.
for the community
Correct.
and also keeping the business in mind. So great. I
Right.
mean, we're going to explore this a bit more. We're going to take a short break now, and
Yeah.
we'll be back within 2 minutes. Viewers, we'll be back. We're talking to Sharad Chandak, the UK head of State Bank of India. Viewers, welcome back to my show. We have with us today here Sharad Chandak, the regional head of the State Bank of India, London. Sharad, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Manish.
Thank you. We'll pick it from where we left last time. So we were talking about how State Bank focuses on both, which is a community service and also profitability in terms of retail banking. Because as you rightly pointed out, retail banking is not inexpensive because at your end you have regulations and so many other challenges. And that brings me to another question. How does in a financially mature market like Britain, where regulations and compliance is very high, how do you find it? How do you find to operating in this environment? Because not that India is any easier, but I'm sure the regulatory demands are much more tougher here in the United Kingdom. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah. So, Manish, you already said that India is also equally good, well-regulated market. So, regulations in banking industry will be always be very high because see, you are taking deposits from the small retail customers, and so they should have some assurance that their money is safe. So for that, it is very important that you should have a very good regulations. So this industry, banking industry, will always be continue to be a very well regulated industry. So I will not say that Britain is a very toughest regulation environment. I will say that it is very conducive to do banking here. So that is, I will not say that it is very tough, but yes, but London market is very competitive, very sophisticated, and there are challenges because it's competitive, and then it is a hub of fintechs, correct?
Correct.
So for survival, it is very much needed that the banks should keep pace with the technology and keep on adopting the new technology. Otherwise, it is very difficult to survive. And as I mentioned that we already started our journey for the retail banking. Now, so see, when we started the journey, it was only for the our existing customer to transact. Now we have added a feature that new customer also can open account through without visiting the branch. So that is a great service to be there. Another thing feature now we are just adding that our customers will be able to transact 24 by 7 across UK. And remittances also they can do 24 by 7. So digitally these challenges are there, and then we are on adding these features and adopting the new technology. This is the only way. Regulations will be there, and then we have to see that how we can survive in this market.
I get that. There was also, somewhere I had read this, and this was a comparison between the two, you can call it the Asian tigers or global competitors, India and China. And I read that India lags behind in terms of its exposure to global banking. So there were some numbers which meant that ICBC, which is one of the well-known Chinese banks, and I've seen their offices just behind yours in King Street, somewhere very close. So it is estimated that they actually have a bigger market share globally than all the Indian banks internationally put together. Do you think that as an Indian bank and as an Indian institution, we have that ambition to take on China or to be a leader in the global financial market? Do we have that ambition? Are we working towards that, or is State Bank or the Indian government, is there something, is there some ambition like that, or is it too, is it too early? We are still nascent, or we still not there to take China on?
No, so see, as far as ambition is concerned, definitely yes. But it is a function of the size of economy. So India is definitely the fifth largest economy of the world. But if you compare the China's economy and India's economy, so they are almost 4 times bigger than the Indian economy. So as our economy will grow and our international transactions will grow, automatically these banks will be having share in those transactions, isn't it? Bank will be having a share in the economy. So definitely, as our economy will grow, Indian banks will become the global banks. SBI is still global bank, but size is small, yes, as compared to the other banks which you mentioned. But definitely, we will be reaching there. It is a matter of time.
Yeah, because the other logical question which would be there is like that Indian diaspora is the strongest. They send more money globally than any other country in the world. 20 million strong diaspora and
Correct.
growing. So obviously somewhere, I just would end this with saying that SBI is very well disposed to take advantage of that. Sharad, that brings me to another question regarding the current state of how firms are moving in or out of India. So one of the notable ones has been that Citibank exited India. This was in the news a few months back. They decided to quit their Indian operations. And one of the questions which was asked very pertinently in the global markets was, is India well disposed to accommodate international institutions? And does the Citibank exit, is it a sole case, or would other international banks follow?
Okay, very good question. So let us understand the proper perspective. So you might have went to the news yesterday only. It came that HSBC is also shutting its retail operations in North America.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean that all banks are leaving North America.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
Citibank has taken this decision. It was not only for India. They decided to shut their retail operations in 13 countries, including China and Australia also. So it was their strategic decision. So nothing to do that they wanted to move only out of India. So if you see in that perspective, it is their strategic decisions, and institutions take such strategic decisions dependent upon their policies and their ambitions. So I don't think that there is a challenges that people don't want to go to India and then they are moving out of India. I don't buy this.
So yeah, so basically what you're saying is that we should not read anything more than
No,
a strategic
yes,
outcome. Sure.
correct.
And in your view, is the Indian banking system robust enough? I mean, can we completely rely on that? Obviously, it has stood the test of time so far, but every now and then we have this murmurs, rumors, and sometimes what has happened with some of the cooperative banks or the smaller banks across India, that they are caught into a scam or scandal. I mean, I didn't want to talk about it, but obviously I happened to watch Scam 92 about Harshad Mehta case, and that the shadow of that, I mean, obviously a lot of reforms have happened since then, but the shadow of it still looms large. And this was proven again with what happened to Yes Bank again a few years back, and then the 2019 you had the merger of many banks. So Indian banking system had its challenges. It has proven itself through the test of times. But do you think it's really robust, or is it because the government doesn't want it to fail, so it would take all the pain?
No, Manish, if you see the 2008 global financial crisis, the way it was managed in India, the Reserve Bank of India and entire banking system, so there were no big failures, correct? So it shows the resilience and the strength of the banking system in India. Another thing is that, see, any sector, any industry, there will be some failures. We have to see that how those failures are being tackled. Correct? So yes, there are some certain failures of some banks, but you will notice and you will admit that regulators acted very swiftly, very promptly, and they ensured that no retail depositor is impacted because of them. So they have helped the retail customers. At the same time, the impact of all such failures were minimized and kept localized. Means it was not a widespread impact on the overall economy. So there was no chain reaction per se. So it shows that the Indian economy and Indian banking sector per se is very robust, and naturally it is reliable. And that's why there is a trust. In Indian banking system, there's crores and crores of people, they are having trust because they know that what is happening in banks. So there should not be any doubt about the Indian banking sector.
So yes, I mean, truly it has survived many storms, and as you rightly pointed out, the regulators have been swift in their handling of whatever came up.
Correct.
So yeah, and definitely I think post Manmohan Singh, I think there have been a lot of reforms which continue to be led by the present government, the Modi government. Yeah, so definitely. So do you think State Bank in that sense? Obviously we're talking about the Indian banking system, and you're the front runner. But how does it then stand out from other Indian and foreign banks, other than the fact that you're the largest? Are there any other distinctions?
I think you're talking about the UK.
Yeah, primarily UK. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned earlier, so we are having the technology at the same time the human touch also.
Yeah.
Correct. So when it comes to local market, correct. So we are there active in the international business, but at the same time we are taking care of our the Indian diaspora. If they are coming here, they are transacting here. So that part is there. So that
So,
is
so Sharad, my question was
you
that, we have a few Indian banks here. So, does State Bank
yeah.
distinguish itself in that sense?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So I was talking about the wholesale banking. So naturally, wholesale banking basically see what happened that we are having a customized product. So that's why we are able to help the customers, and that it stands out from the other banks. As far as the retail banking is concerned, so as I have mentioned that lockers were introduced the lockers, correct?
Yeah.
So some of the Indian banks may not be having those lockers, and most of the wholesale banks may not be having those lockers. Then when it comes to buy to let product, so which is a very popular product in UK. And our product, this product offered by SBI UK Limited, is very attractive and very competitive. There also, we are not having a tailor-made approach. So even though we have used the technology, but there is human intervention is there, and people are able to understand the issues, and then there are certain issues, and if it is within their risk framework, we are able to handle those proposals. So it gives a lot of comfort to the customer. So always our view is that we should be adopting the technology, but at the same time, we should understand person behind the proposal. It is not a only proposal; it is not a paper. Right? Another thing that what we have initiated with two products. One is the Namaste UK,
Oh,
which
yes.
has launched recently.
Yeah, I've heard
So
about
what
that.
can
Yeah.
happen that any student or any business person or salaried person who is coming, they want to come to UK, so he can open account in SBI UK sitting in India through and once he lands here, so he can activate. He can make the initial deposit also from India. So it gives a lot of comfort that okay, I am going to UK, but my account is there in UK itself. I can operate that account. So that is the one product that will. So it has recently launched, and I have hope once this travel restrictions goes away, it will be very popular product among the people who are coming to UK Indian
Okay.
diaspora.
Yeah.
Another product we will be launching will be the non-resident buy to let. Because see, there are many Indian investors who want to purchase properties in London. So we want to offer them loan. So that will be also another good product, and that will really stand out SBI from the other competitors.
I think that's going to
So
be a
these
very
are the
important
some
product.
products.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manish, you want to say?
No, I was just saying that will be a very important product because I
Correct.
definitely see that trend happening. A lot of Indians buying in the UK. Yeah.
Correct. And then we are having the NRI desk to handle the all the. I mean, whether it is the person is a customer or not, if he is having some requirement which is related to India, his Indian account, so that we are offering services, through NRI desk. And you may be knowing that one of the feature of Euro is that if you are having account in SBI, so that account also can link with the UK account. You cannot transact, but you can see the balances of your India account also. So that is, I don't know that any other bank is giving that feature.
I think that's a great feature. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Because in today's time, the problem is that if you have multiple accounts, multiple passwords, it becomes a
Yes,
nightmare. So
correct.
yeah. So Sharad, now the most important question: what is your money advice to Indians living in the UK? I mean, we all are aware that actually the UK banks hardly give you any return. The best, I think you're offering the best product in that sense as well. You're offering possibly 1% in your ISA, but the offering generally is very low, and a lot of Indians do invest in India. They do invest in Indian banking products. Uh, the risk obviously being the exchange rate, but Indian banking products still are lucrative. So, what is your advice? What would you suggest to Indians living in the UK how they should invest in India via banking products or via State Bank?
Okay. So much before going to your questions, we should mention about the ISA. So I will also mention that we have recently launched centenary deposit scheme. So we are offering 1% of rate of interest for 1,000 days. So okay. See, India is a developing economy, and among the major economies, it is the second largest, I mean, developing, fastest growing economy, second fastest growing economy. So definitely returns will be better if you are investing in India. So within that ambit, one can take a decision where you want to invest, whether in the fixed deposits in India or real estate or some industrial properties. But then, yes, one should be able to get good returns. So, some more advices I would like to give to NRI customers.
So
One thing is that each NRI customer should have the internet banking, for one for his India based account and one for the UK based account, because otherwise it is very difficult to handle it. Correct? And when you have internet banking, so from here itself you can pay taxes, you can pay your bill, whatever you want to do. If you are having a senior account in India, you can bring that money here seamlessly. You can remit the money seamlessly. So that is the one thing I would like to advise all NRI customers. Second thing is that most of the NRIs are remitting money to India, and they go by the rates. And rates are, various websites are there where they are giving the rates. But what I will request, don't go by the rates. Just see that what is the fees and what is the amount getting credited to your friends, family, or relatives account. Well, what matters is the amount credited, not the rate. Because see, SBI, it is very transparent mechanism. So what rates we do, you can multiply it and you can see that that much amount will be in your account. But it is not there for some of the players. So that NRAs can take care of that.
sure. And I think in India also the FD rates seem to be going down. So are there any other banking products where one can, if one were to invest in, let's say, State Bank of India in India, FD, are there any other competitive products coming out other than the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year FDs?
So therefore, NRAs, FCNR deposits are there. So you can keep money in USD or GBP also in India. So that exchange risk can be taken care of.
I think that's a fantastic product. That can be very useful. So, Sharad, we're coming towards the end of our interview, and this will be my last two questions. And it's more in the personal space, so we would not talk about the State Bank so much anymore. What do you find missing in London? I mean, you've been living here for the last few years, so what do you find missing here as an Indian, which you look forward to, and what exactly you like here, which is missing in India? So these are like two questions. What exactly you miss from India, and what you like here, which you will miss in India?
And you don't want to talk about banking?
No, you can talk about banking if you want.
No, see, London is a global city, a very fantastic city, right? I mean, it's having a rich history. What I admire most is the greenery. So you go anywhere in London, and whether it is, I mean, even in the heart of the city also, you find the huge green patches. So it is a big attraction. So I mean, I think this is the biggest attraction for me in London. Second thing, this city is, accepts everyone. See, it embraces everyone. So in true nature, it is a global city. Third is the Indian diaspora. Very warm, very generous, very welcoming, very supportive. So being in London, you will feel you are in home. So I don't think that anybody who's coming from India will miss something living in London. So I don't miss anything other than the close relatives who are, you are not able to meet them. Otherwise, then just London is a very fantastic city. So I never miss anything.
So I think the mayor of London should be contacting you because you should be leading their advertising to invite people to London.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Sharad, it was such a pleasure talking to you. We learned a few things about State Bank, about the Indian banking system, and obviously about investing as well as NRIs. Thank you very much for being in my show and for giving your time. It was indeed a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Thank you, Manish, for giving me this opportunity. And once again, namaste to all of your viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a big namaste
Thank
to
you.
you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Namaste.